Thank you very much. We came here with a mission, and we gave it all. Round of 16, we all know what it means. When you lose, you go home. When you win, you remain in the tournament. And that's the song we've been singing. And I can't really fault these boys because they gave it up. They fought for it. And it just wasn't to be. Slight mistake from one of our best players. The timing was wrong. That was the only chance they had. And then they took advantage of it. But the most painful thing is that we get opportunities to break away, and then, advantage is always being called back. And that is not fair. Otherwise, I would say congratulations to Tunisia. I've told the boys, don't bury your head down because you've given up. You've given everything. Just look ahead and see how you qualify Nigeria for the World Cup. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions? Okay, sir.
Good evening, Coach. My name is Fisayo Dairo from ACLsports.com. Hard luck. I could see you are not wearing your cap, perhaps from the defeat. I want to ask about the game. Yes, lots will say Alex Iwobi's red card contributed to the loss, but were you disappointed with the attitude of some of your players in the first half especially, or do you think we could have done better than we did in the first half?
But you see, we came into the game very strong. Tunisians respected us. We respected them as well. So they formed their defense on a low block. And then our ball movement from defense into midfield and then the attacking position was sometimes slow. And that gives them opportunity to always recover and double team on Simon and Chukwueze. So we spoke about it, when the game was on. It still didn't improve. And then in the first half, we discussed it, and the second half, the ball's movement to the sides became a little bit faster. But be that as it may, I think the Tunisians also, forming a low block was a little bit difficult to crack down. So I would say another congratulations to them, but our boys gave it all, but it just wasn't to be.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Coach, my name is Johnny Edward from the Punch newspaper. I just want to ask you if you were pleased with the officiating of today's game.
It's a little bit difficult. I don't like to talk too much about referees because they are the masters. Yes, but there's nothing wrong if one makes his observations. It would be his red card, I don't think. It was the first foul. And it wasn't intentional also. But we have to look at it via later and see. But however, first offense, I don't think they marked a red card. It wasn't dangerous play. And then, right in his face, I can see one of the most gentlemen in the team, Ndidi Wilfred, got mashed. And then, right in the face of the referee, Ndidi hardly complained. He complained, so which means it was a clear foul. But having said that, we gain advantage to move on breakaways. And then he recalls it and gives us fouls. Normally, in the game of football, when there's a foul and there's an advantageous position, you let it run. So that is just the only thing I see. But again, referee is a gentleman, and he should be able to control his emotions. Once the game is on, everywhere is tensed up. Well, it has happened. There's nothing we can do about it.
Okay, the gentleman at the back, at the camera. At the camera first, and then here.
Good evening, Coach. Sad one for Nigeria today. I have a question. From the first half, it seems the Tunisians understood the playbook. Every attempt going forward was duly countered, and there was no response from the Nigerian side or from the bench. Do you think our predictability in this game is the reason we are packing our bags to Abuja tomorrow?
Well, that's what you think. Moses Simon, Chukwueze, the strength of Nigerian football has always been on the side. But the only thing that we're not doing right is for us to move the ball quicker when it's 1 against 1. When we move the ball, then they are now 2. We try to change style a little bit so that we're not predictable. Don't always look for the wing. That was why we instructed the 2 front players that when Chukwueze drops or Simon drops behind him, Awoni or Iheanacho or whoever comes must exploit that gap. But it wasn't really happening. So playing through the side was a bit tough because they know how we operate. There are strengths on the sides. And then through the middle as well. You can see when Tunisia are defending, they defend with 10. The entire team is behind. So it was a little bit difficult, yes.
Okay, the gentleman here.
Good evening, Coach. My name is Edafe Matthew from At Least Media. According to you, the Tunisians in the first half were playing the low block, which was very obvious to everybody. But tactically, when a team is playing the low block and keeping your wide men at bay, and in your tactical master class, you talked about keeping Stoichkov and the other Bulgarian player at bay. Well, I was expecting that Zaidu Sanusi and Olaino would bump forward in the first 45 minutes. But it seems that they were in shackles. You waited till the second half and we had that red card before you allowed them freedom to go forward. Could you please explain that to me? Because I felt that if they had gone forward, those spaces that we wanted to exploit would have been exploited. Thank you.
Very good question. I think I answered it when the second person asked the same question. We asked Moses to try to drift in, and then we can allow Saidu to come from the side. Because as at that point in time, yes, you talk about being predictable, yes. But again, you know, this is a knockout stage, and everybody's trying to play safe as well. If you can see, the Tunisians were just playing for time, as far as I'm concerned, and then see if they can get something out. And then beginning of the second half, they got it, and they all went back. So it is something that we can improve on. It's something we can improve on. Now, there is no second chance to come back to Africa and come of these nations in this game. But going forward, those are things. That's why when things happen, you take tips and review and then try to improve. Not at all. If you talk about concentration, go take the tape and watch again. Tunisia ball possession was mostly in their own half, and then midway into our own half. They didn't come close to our goal. It's okay, yeah, maybe first 5 minutes when they broke up on the right side. If you look at the statistics well enough, you could see that we outclassed them in every area. But statistics is not the case now. It's who won the game. Tunisia won the game. Talk about underestimating team, has never occurred in our mind to underestimate anything. We came out, we tried to go for it, but it wasn't just to be. You should also understand that I'm here as an interim coach. I'm the technical director of Nigerian Football Federation. What will happen is I'll go back to my job, and we'll let the authority decide what next to be done.
Adeni Adebanjo, Relife. Coach, the Tunisian assistant coach talked about how predictable the Nigerian side were. They had studied us, obviously. He talked about how predictable we were with wing play, second balls, as well as just how maybe we weren't strong enough defending behind the ball. I don't know if you'd have a response to that. But also, a second question. The hype of Super Eagles here in Garoua was really much. Obviously, the team was expected to win this game by a lot of fans. Do you think perhaps maybe the pressure got to the players?
No, I'll take the second question first. No, not at all. No, we're not under any pressure. We came in here with free mind, relaxed, just to enjoy the game and try to win it, but it just didn't happen. Then when you talk about the Tunisian coach talking about the team being predictable, that's not 100% correct. Our wing play is our strength, but the only thing is we had to vary it. We try to play through the middle, which means when we open up the field and play from the sides, then the balls must come in Awoniyi's feet or Iheanacho's feet. But it wasn't coming. Why? Because they had a whole lot of midfield players who tried to block the line of pass. And then we are not a team who wants to play long one behind defenders. We possess the ball very well. Even at that, half chances were being created. And towards the end of the game, playing with 10, we could have equalized and won the game. At all. Because if we didn't bring in players like Olayinka and co, we wouldn't have the courage to bring him in today. So I haven't seen him in that game. We could tell that if it's time to bring him in, he will perform. And everybody in this hall will agree with me that he was chasing down people, created chances, balls behind him. You know, we just gave him specific instructions, and he did well. Mind you, every other person that have come to the competition is qualified or good enough to be in the team. So changing the team in that game against Guinea-Bissau was deliberate to see if we have to call on a player, we don't have to think twice, and that's exactly what we did today.